In 1986, I was a freshman in college. I lived on the fourth floor of the dorm. It was a co-ed floor and the rooms were alternated. My roommate Cynthia and I were hanging around that night with some of the guys on our floor. Another girl came in and said that someone down the hall had a Ouija board and was getting ready to play it. We figured, what the heck, since we had nothing else to do, so we went down there. The room it was set up in was occupied by a goth girl. I had heard rumors that she claimed to be a witch. The room was adorned with black candles, black sheets over the windows, and white string lights that zigzagged across the ceiling. When a big enough crowd gathered, about 10 of us in a small room, the lights were turned off. The goth girl and a guy began asking the board questions. It contacted an old man who said that he had died in a farming accident. That made sense since we were surrounded by cornfields that went on forever. He seemed harmless enough, and they continued to play with the board. I had left a message on my dry erase board on my door, saying where I was, and it wasn't long before the guys that lived to the right of me came knocking on the door. Scott and John stood in the doorway for a few minutes, all the while making comments under their breath about how silly the whole thing was. The goth girl began to get upset and said if they didn't believe in the Ouija, they had to go so that they wouldn't upset the spirit. Scott just laughed and said, "If you're real, then give us a sign." The phone rang. The goth girl picked it up and said nobody was on the line. She hung it up, and a few seconds later, it rang again. This time, Scott grabbed it. Still, nobody there. He hung it up. Again, it rang. He picked it up and began to shout into the phone at whoever it was on the other line. The phone continued to ring in his hand. I have never seen so many people move so fast in their life. Cynthia, Scott, John, myself, and 2 others ran to my room and shut the door. The phone rang. I refused to answer it. John picked it up, and no one was there. We ran next door into their room, unplugged the phone, and didn't fall asleep until after 6 a.m. That was the first time and the last time I was involved with a Ouija board.